Good afternoon. Again, I'm Providence Mayor Brett Smiley. I'm joined with Governor McKee, who we will hear from in just a moment. We're also joined by Senator Jack Reed and Congressman Gabe Amo, and we will hear from Senator Jack Reed in a moment on behalf of Rhode Island's federal delegation, who've been in touch with us throughout this incident over the last day. And as both the governor and I have said on multiple occasions, the amount of federal resources and cooperation that we've received is extraordinary, and that extends to our representatives here in Rhode Island. And then finally, Colonel Oscar Perez will give an update as well. At this time, we have no update to share on the investigation. It is ongoing. There is no reason to believe that we've hit any roadblocks other than to say that we are doing what we know how to do in cooperation with our law enforcement partners to ensure that we adequately, thoroughly investigate the situation, and when we are ready to make a further announcement, we will do so. We know there's some information circulating, but we will not share any information that might compromise our investigation or future charges. So at this time, we have no official updates to share with respect to the investigation. Next, it's clear that our community is still in shock and hurting. And now that the initial phase of the investigation has made some progress, we're turning our attention to caring for our neighbors, both the Brown community, the broader Providence community, and truly all of Rhode Island. The City of Providence has stood up a website, the address of which is providenceri.gov/community response resources. There you can find a long list of community resources for mental health care, what to do in the event of trauma, how to help talk about events like this with your kids, to try to help families, neighbors, community members start to understand how to process that which has been so difficult for us. Finally, the Providence City Council, who've been excellent partners, and again, we're joined by leaders from the City Council, including the councilman for this area, Councilman John Gonsalves, is inviting the Providence community and really anyone who'd like to join us tonight at 5 p.m. at Lippett Park, where there had been a previous plan to light a Christmas tree and to light a menorah for the first night of Hanukkah. And for those who know at least a little bit of the Hanukkah story, it is quite clear that if we can come together as a community and shine a little bit of light tonight, I think there's nothing better that we could be doing as a community. And so please know you're all invited to Lippett Park tonight at 5 o'clock. Lippett Park is at 1008 Hope Street, and all are welcome. Certainly Providence Police and other folks will be on hand to make sure that we are all can be in community without any concerns tonight. I'd like to note that Family Services is here with us today, Margaret Holland McDuff. She is one of those community resources that has become available. I'd like to also acknowledge that United Way of Rhode Island and their 211 system has been helping, and leaders from the Nonviolence Institute have been assisting with families in the hospitals. Additionally, Treasurer James Diosa and his Victim Compensation Fund has already been in touch to ensure that his office is doing everything that they can. Before I turn it over to the governor, I'll just share that a couple hours ago I was at the hospital. I know President Paxton has been several times, but I had a chance to meet with a few of the victims and their families. And while they are receiving excellent medical care, and I want to thank the professionals at Brown Health and Rhode Island Hospital, the professionalism, these folks, just like our law enforcement professionals, have been up all night working, but the level of care and professionalism that they are exhibiting is extraordinary. These survivors are receiving excellent care, and the resilience that these survivors showed and shared with me is frankly pretty overwhelming. It pales in comparison what they've gone through for the rest of us here. We're all saddened and scared and tired, but what they've been through is something entirely different, and yet they showed courage and hope and gratitude for how this community has stood up for them and how the healthcare providers cared for them couple of the family members who I had a chance to speak with are so grateful for what they've seen and heard of the outpouring of support from this community. And so I want to relay that to all of you, that they're watching what's happening also, and their healing is improved based upon all of the positivity and love and care that they've seen from not just the Rhode Island community, but frankly the national community. And so thank you. Governor McKee has been an incredible partner through all of this, and I'm grateful for his leadership and the compassion that he's shown and the relentless focus he's had on those individuals who are recovering in the hospital right now. And I'd like to invite the governor to say a few words.
So today, Brown students and the community is suffering, and they're in pain. So please let the President and the Brown community know that we stand with you. So as we start this second day of this tragedy, I do feel as though it's important to really point out Mayor Smiley and his team, first responders, state police and our federal partners, Brown University, the staff at the hospitals, and as the mayor said, the media who has been able to really put out the information that I'm sure is going to help accelerate the fact that we have someone in custody. The mental health support. The community needs our compassion and our support as the process of this horrific event unfolds. As governor and as a Rhode Islander, I get to speak on behalf of the people of the state of Rhode Island. As a dad, as a grandparent, it hits home to us, all of us, me included. While a suspect has been detained, our work as a state is not over. As governor, I'm committing to the city and to Brown and the broader community that has been impacted by this to make sure everyone who needs assistance, mental health assistance, can access them. Last night, we activated the state's trauma response team to help coordinate mental health resources with all partners. And to everyone in the nation, because this is a national event. I've had calls, like I said, personal calls with Hawaii, a dad that has a freshman at Brown University. To everybody out there in the country, please send your prayers here to Rhode Island. And to all Rhode Islanders, let's do what we do best. Let's stand by and support our neighbors when they most need it. And we stand ready to do exactly that.
Thank you, Governor. I'd like to invite Senator Jack Reed to say a few words on behalf of the congressional delegation.
On behalf of Senator Whitehouse, Congressman Magaziner, Congressman Amo, I first want to express our profound condolences to those families who've lost a loved one and to those families who are struggling with a seriously injured child. We offer not only our sympathies but our prayers for a speedy recovery. I must commend the leadership. Mayor Smiley has done a superb job. The governor has done a superb job. The President Paxson, and the Provost Doyle have also stepped up and done a superb job. We are also, I think, particularly indebted to the police officers and the firefighters from Providence, the Brown University Police Department, many departments, both police and fire, from across the state of Rhode Island, our state police, and a special word of praise and thanks to our federal law enforcement officers, the FBI, the ATF. They have been instrumental, critical in the progress of this investigation so far. I received a call from Attorney General Pam Bondi, and I shared my praise and thanks for the assistance of federal authorities. This has been a horrible, terrible moment. But in moments like this, we see the best of Rhode Island. The firefighters, the policemen, the civic leaders, neighbors who come together, and let us celebrate that community. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Finally, we'll hear from Providence Police Chief Colonel Oscar Perez.
Thank you, Mayor. So yeah, the message is the same. I'll echo the message from the mayor earlier as far as where are we with the investigation. I'll tell you that right now the investigation continues to progress extremely fast. We're in the process of collecting evidence and seizing items that we need to seize, search locations that we need to search. I want to commend the response, the quick response of ATF, FBI. As the items get seized and collected, obviously they will provide the resources and the equipment that we need to ensure that we have the right legal requirements and facts in order to be able to provide that so that we can move along. I also want to commend the Attorney General's office who has been standing by us to ensure that our process is continuing in a proper manner. And so that's where we're at with it. We'll continue. It's a complex investigation. I know there's some speculations out there about names, and I'm not here to confirm or comment. I know you're going to ask me that as far as names. I'll tell you that I'm not going to confirm or comment because in the years that I have in this department, in this police department, we stand on grounded facts, not a speculation. And at that point, we'll be able to, once we're ready and we have the appropriate and accurate information, we'll be able to update you with that. My goal is that we're able to have that information as soon as possible. But again, I tell you that respectfully, and I have the responsibility to respect the integrity of this investigation. I think that is complex. Any detective that worked last night and all the agents that worked last night, I have responsibility to respect the work that they're doing. And so when we're ready to provide you with that info and to come to or to give you the right info, I will make sure that you get that updated. So.
Colonel managed to establish any connection between the suspect and the university. Why did the suspect target the university?
So that's all part of the investigations that we're conducting, and again, it's complex. And we want to make sure that once we have, at the appropriate time, give you the accurate information, we'll be able to provide that information for you in that answer. Go ahead, John.
Colonel, the person of interest, is that the same individual that we saw on the surveillance video you released?
So again, I'm not going to speculate. I want to make sure that if I give you an answer, it's grounded on facts. And so we're getting to that point, but it's going to take time. Detective work is not something that you can answer or solve within a minute. It takes time, and we have to make sure that we have the right evidence in order to prosecute somebody properly. So.
Colonel, what led you to Coventry? What led you to Providence Police there, Coventry Police, FBI?
So I'm not going to confirm or comment on locations again, John. I'll tell you that I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you is the fact that we're going to continue progressing on this complex investigation to make sure that we have all the facts together in order to be able to give you what you're asking.
Do you feel better now than you did last night at midnight?
Absolutely. I think the great work of the men and women of this department, the collaboration with the different federal agencies, the fact that we're standing here all together and we all stepped up and we're making sure that we have the right answers and that we can continue on to bring peace, as the mayor stated, and calm to this city. It's a beautiful city and it's something that we take pride of. And so, yes, I feel much better.
Pat, and then the guy behind.
Talk to us about the process.
The most common question I've gotten in the last 24 hours, it revolves around the fact that Brown University is the most camera-ridden, most responsive piece of real estate in Rhode Island, and yet there seems to be little or no video evidence outside of that clip. You know, respecting the investigation, is there a lot more video that we're just not able to see yet because of the ongoing investigation, or is there simply no video?
So what we shared with you the other day is what we have that we could share, and then we'll continue to, again, we're continuing to collect evidence. As we speak, we have detectives out there trying to continue to find. So I don't want to tell you that there's no more video because we might find something within the next few minutes. So yes, it's possible, but what we gave you the other day is what we have. Go ahead.
So,
I'm sorry.
Colonel,
Go.
if you wouldn't mind, two questions here.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about the process of releasing this 10-second clip to now someone's in custody, kind of how you all are working together to garner that information? Someone being detained, rather.
Correct. And so, yeah, someone being detained, it led us to that point as far as like when we started, obviously, it's a fast move. It's a quick response right from the beginning. Once we get the call, and you pull up to a scene, obviously as chaotic as it was, and then it gets to a point that now we're asking the public for help. Tips come in, federal agents come in. At that point, private police response, detectives get to do the work, and so that's where we started. And then we ended up getting, obviously, to a point where we find someone of interest, we bring him in, but we're I'm pretty confident in the work that the men and women have done of the department, but I gotta respect their work. Some of them haven't gone to sleep. And so I have to respect the fact that they're going to continue and give us what we need in order to be able to prosecute somebody properly. Yes.
Telemundo in the back.
Sé que muchas personas volverán a la misma pregunta. ¿Podría brindar una actualización en español, algo que sea útil para la comunidad hispana de Rhode Island?
Ciertamente que este departamento trabaja muy duro para encontrar respuestas. En este momento esto fue una situación muy trágica en la ciudad de Providence, pero me gustaría acordarle a la comunidad que este departamento siempre se responde de una manera muy importante y tenemos una persona en este momento que es de interés. Estamos colectando la evidencia que es necesaria para legalmente presentarlo a la corte para así ponerle los cargos que se necesitan presentar. En este momento tenemos unas ayudas y recursos de las agencias federales, también como del fiscal del estado y también de otras personas, pero yo quiero respetar el trabajo de mis detectives y tener lo que necesitamos para poder presentar a alguien en la corte positivamente.
¿Y el llamado al público para colaborar en la investigación cuál es?
Sí, muchísimas gracias al público. De pronto si tienen alguna evidencia en este momento, pasaron por ahí y tienen algo que es importante para la policía, tenemos diferentes tip lines y también tenemos la oportunidad de que entren a la policía, nos llaman y si necesitan que un policía vaya a la casa de ellos para recoger esa evidencia, lo haremos.
Colonel, can you confirm whether the person of interest is from Rhode Island and have you found the weapon that was used?
Again, I'm not going to confirm a comment because I think this, I have a responsibility to respect the integrity of this investigation. It's a process and it's complex, and I don't want to be the one to stain that process. At this point, no, correct. And so that's the other thing. I'm not going to speculate on something without grounded facts. If we're going to charge someone, then we're going to charge somebody, and I'm going to come here and tell you, you'll be the first ones to know. I'm sorry? Again, we're in the process of collecting evidence. We're in the process of typing search warrants as needed, and we're in the process of doing what we need to do in order to be able to get those items.
Right here.
We heard of some people who work in the building who say they had some safety concerns, specifically with the lack of cameras in this building where the shooting took place. Do you know if there were cameras in the building? What was the security like in that building?
Again, I'm not going to comment as far as what was at this facility or what you're being told by or what information you're getting from somebody, but I can comment on the fact that we are working with what we have, and obviously we have somebody that's at the police station, a person of interest, and we're going to continue to build that case in order to be able to charge that person.
Colonel. The FBI director is saying that they found this person of interest in a Coventry hotel because of a tip from the Providence police. Can you confirm that? The FBI director is saying that.
Because of a tip of the Providence police. Again, I'm not going to.
The FBI director is saying that they found the person of interest in a Coventry hotel because of a tip from the Providence.
So me personally, I'm not going to comment on what was told by another agency. What I'm telling you is the fact that we're going to continue this investigation. We're going to respect the integrity of it, and we're going to work closely with the Attorney General's office in order to be able to prosecute this person in the proper manner.
What do you say to parents around the country and around the world? There are many international students at Brown who are sitting here today wondering how a gunman was able to get so close to students. Did they have a swipe card? Were they let in somehow? What do you tell parents?
I tell the parents that this is a great city. Brown has been an icon in the city. I think that this is an unfortunate incident, but I'll tell the parents that if the kids are going to come to the city, to be sure that we're going to do what we need to make sure that they're safe. And if horrific incidents like this happen, we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that we hold those people accountable.
Colonel, about the victims, can you give us any information about, the two people who died, if they were students, or if we're going to get their names at all?
As far as we understand, due to some travel, not all of the victims' families have been notified. And so I hope everyone can respect the fact that we cannot share victim information if we have not yet first notified the families. It is around the holidays, and there are some people in transit, and so we need to allow for contact to be made before additional information is shared. I'm sorry that we're not able to share more. And I will just say, I know, and I said this at the outset, I know it is frustrating that we cannot share additional information on the investigation to date. However, as has been said now for almost 24 hours, bringing the individual responsible for this horrific act in our city to justice remains our top priority, along with the healing of their survivors. Bringing that person to justice means having a thorough, complete, and tight investigation, which then can be prosecuted successfully. That's how we bring justice to the individuals involved here. And so while it may be frustrating for certain members of our community to feel like we're not being fully forthcoming with some of the details, the reason that we are not sharing details that are unconfirmed is that it could compromise our prosecution. And hopefully everyone can appreciate that the top priority is in fact bringing a semblance of justice and closure. And the way in which we do that is with the strongest case possible that we can present, that the Attorney General will prosecute. And so we will not share any details that we feel could compromise that future prosecution for the sake of justice for the families.
Mayor Smiley, sir, we know you've spoken to students who have been the victims of shootings in high school and now they're attending Brown, describing this as a uniquely American experience to go through not one but two school shootings. What do you feel needs to be done to keep this from happening, to stop that cycle of violence? And President Paxton, if you want to weigh in as well, ma'am.
Yeah, there's going to be many days, months, or I'm not sure how long, of both healing, but of also moments to advocate for what might need to change. Speaking for myself, at least, that's not today. We still have an active investigation underway. We still have students in the hospital. I won't be shy about sharing what I think needs to be done to make my community safer, but I'm not doing that today. What I will say is when I was at the hospital today, one of the students that showed tremendous courage literally said to me, you know, that active shooter drill they made me do in high school actually helped me in the moment. Which at the same time provided me hope and was so sad. We shouldn't have to do active shooter drills, but it helped. And the reason it helped and the reason we do these drills is because it's so damn frequent. And so there'll be plenty of time, at least from my office, and I don't speak for any of the other public officials there. They're welcome to share if they so choose. There'll be plenty of time to talk about what advocacy and policy changes should be made. But we're still very, very much hard at work at the task at hand, and that is to be able to bring charges forward on the person responsible. Sir?
And then, can you just go through the nature of the conditions again? I know you did that this morning, but is everybody out of the woods?
The conditions have not changed as far as I understand. And so, as was said earlier this morning, one individual has been discharged. One individual remains in critical but stable condition, and the other 7 are in stable condition. I will say I had conversations with 4 of the students, and they were talking to their healthcare providers, and so if there are status changes, we'll be sure to share them.
Mayor, I have a question for you. People are asking, are you expecting to do continuous status updates throughout the day, such as this, or can they expect at a future press conference that there'll be additional information? What is your plan for keeping the public informed throughout this afternoon?
Yeah, thank you. Our expectation is that this is likely our last press conference here at the Brook Street Fire Station. We set up here last night because we're on the edge of campus. There was a lot of work happening all around us. They're still processing evidence on campus, but that crime scene is wrapping up. Most of the streets, other than immediately outside of the building, have been reopened. And so we do expect to provide future updates. We will likely provide those at the Providence Public Safety Complex, and we will provide them as there are meaningful updates to share. I know that it can be frustrating for some when the update is that there's no update. But in the absence of progress, and what's important is that the investigation take the time that it needs to be right. And so when we have no update to share, we will say there's no update to share. And when we have news to share, we will share that news. But our expectation is that this is our last press conference here at the Brook Street Fire Station as we're entering sort of a new chapter as the immediate crime scene winds down and we move on to what we hope will be a prosecution and to try to help our community heal. And we talk more about things like community resources, which we've announced today.
You mentioned family services. There's a crisis support line that you might be able to...
Thank you, Governor. Yes, for Rhode Islanders, Family Service of Rhode Island also has a crisis support line. The phone number is 401-854-6678. That's 854-6678. And the folks at Family Service of Rhode Island are extraordinary professionals who unfortunately have a lot of experience in this area and are a resource available to us. And I know Margaret Holland McDuff from Family Services is here, and we're grateful for her help along the way.
Colonel,
Mayor.
one more question, Colonel. Do you need anything from the public? In other words, is there still possibly someone out there that may have information that you need? Or, I mean, the students are now being allowed to leave the campus. Does that mean that there's no potential witness here? Where does it stand that the public could
Yeah,
help?
thank you, John. I think that, yeah, the call out to the public is to, evidence that they think might be worth it for us to look at, anything that they suspect would be important for the police department to look at. We're definitely welcome that. And so the message is please reach out. I think that that's one of the strongest things the Providence Police Department has is the partnership that we have with our different community members, as well as different colleges throughout the city. And so if they think that there's something that's important to us, please send it our way, because we'll definitely use it. It might be something that's important that you may think is not, but for us it is. So.
Colonel, can we
Colonel,
describe
from
him as a man in his 30s still? Can we still describe him as a man in his 30s, person of interest? A man in his
So
30s?
the person detained is actually a person in his 20s.
Can you clarify, is this officially a suspect? Is this someone in custody? What should we call this person? Have they been arrested?
You should call this person that we detain someone of interest at this point.
Detain someone of
What's the
interest?
Yes.
Colonel, from what I understand, Brown has sirens on their campus, emergency sirens to alert people in cases like this. Did those sirens go off, and if not, why?
So yesterday, when I don't think they went off, and I believe the fact is it was fast. We had a quick response here to the police department, but there was a message. I'm not sure if that call went out. So.
Chief, I don't know if you want to
The sirens did not go off. The original information that we received was from the officer who did not receive the call. The officer saw some of the students running from the location, and so it was an immediate response.
Can you talk
Colonel,
about
one more
alerting the
question.
greater...
Hold on, John.
Can you talk about just what went into alerting the greater Brown area community, people who aren't Brown residents, maybe RISD students or faculty, people in that area? What went into alerting others?
For our community, it was our emergency notification system, some of which is shared by RISD. The rest was from the city of Providence.
Colonel, can you just, Colonel?
Go ahead, please.
I'm Colonel Chapman O'Brien. Can you tell us, does the person of interest have any connection to the Brown University community? And there was some report that he went into that building and yelled in the classroom. Do you have any more information about that?
So again, it's all details that are important. It's all part of the complex investigation that I spoke about earlier. I'm not ready to confirm or comment on any of that. Again, I got to respect the process. And so at this point, we're just going to continue like the mayor stated. It's complex, but we want to make sure that we have a successful prosecution. And that's more important to me than right now to give you something that just, it could, it's not appropriate.
Colonel, have you started process of search warrants, any sort of legal process to sort of figure out any motive?
Yeah, so at this point, we're coordinating with the Attorney General's office. We're working very closely with them. We're collecting evidence. We're in the process also of interviewing individuals. And so that's where we're at now. That's something.
State prosecution as opposed to a federal?
That's correct, sir, yes.
Colonel, the incident happened yesterday around 4 o'clock. Can you just touch on, it sounds like within 12 hours you had a person of interest. Can you just talk about
Correct.
that?
It's
That's
just
a short window.
It's hard work. It's just it's like it's all hands on deck. An incident of this nature, I think, takes a lot of resources. I think the fact that we work closely with our federal partners and different municipalities, the men and women of the Providence Police Department, the detectives, outstanding work, and I think that's why we have been able to move forward as we have in progress in such a fast manner in order to have somebody detained at this point. So.
Colonel President, on what basis are you detaining this man, and how long you have to further the investigation until you either have to charge him or release him?
Again, situation like this, we have basis enough to bring somebody in based on a lot of different facts. And so those facts are the ones that are allowing us to have that person detained at this point, which I cannot comment as far as what those facts are. Yes.
We have a question for President Paxson now.
How long do you have to charge him before you have to release him?
Again, it's moving pretty fast, and we will have an answer as fast as we can. So.
President Paxson, if you can, we know that these students were studying for their finals in the midst of their schoolwork here, and now students have been told classes are canceled, finals are canceled. Can you talk about kind of the complete shift that this community is in right now, going from studying to now almost a ghost town as people are being reunited with their families?
Yeah. So thanks for the question. It is a big shift and not the way we hope to end this semester, obviously. I was in what we call the Ratty, or main dining hall today. There were a lot of students gathered there. They are amazing, and they're supporting each other. So they're good.
Talking about the emotions you're feeling right now, because you care for these things.
Yeah, I do. And, right now I think, as the mayor was saying, the students in the hospital, I've talked to all but one of them, the students on campus, there's just a lot of gratitude right now, and they're remarkable.
All right, that's it for now. We will keep you posted on future updates. Again, our expectation is that this is the last update here at the Brook Street Fire Station. If you are not yet on Josh's press list, Josh, raise your hand. He's there. That's how you will be apprised of future updates, and our expectation is that we'll be at the Providence Public Safety Complex for future updates. Thank you very much.